Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to Women Veterans Engage. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm Melissa Washington. I am a Navy veteran, and I'm also the founder of Women Veterans Alliance. And just let you all know, if you have your phones, you're going to see QR codes pop up on screens throughout the presentation. So definitely, if you want to get more information on the speaker or the organization, definitely scan those QR codes. So if you're here's a couple of the QR codes we have right here. We have, if you haven't downloaded the app, you can scan that here in the app. And if you've been interacting on the app, we thank you so much for doing that. We currently have 704 registered attendees at 15 locations and online throughout the US. And on this app, you can engage with others. And that's the purpose of engagement, is to engage and connect with others on the app. Through our wall, through our table talk. You can see who's here, and I think you can sort by location and branch. I think the Army's got the most, but usually they do since they are a larger branch. And also, too, we asked if you can upload photos directly to our SmugMug account. So if you've got photos, it's easy to do. Just scan the QR code, and then you can scan them easily. So if you don't know who I am, so again, Melissa Washington, I'm here in the Sacramento, California area, and I'm actually in the Rockland location here at Sierra College in their Veteran Success Center. So 11 years ago, I got a bunch of women together in local restaurant. And at that restaurant, that's where the Women Veterans Alliance started. We weren't Women Veterans Alliance at the time. We were a local meetup, and now we've grown to a global organization. And this year is our fifth Women Veterans Engage event. And I wanted to share with you all, and you're gonna be able to hear from all the locations that we have and all of their partners as well. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have Women Veterans Engage. And before I forget, I want to make sure I give a shout out to Terry, who is our admin, and she has been a godsend for me and for the organization. And she's here right now, even just behind the scenes, making sure everything moves smoothly. So these are all of our partner locations. These are the different host locations. There's 15, but there's actually over 20 organizations that are a part of Women Veterans Engage for 2026. And you're going to be able to learn more about each of these partner locations this morning, this afternoon, of course, depending upon where you're at. So again, just get ready with your phone. Also, too, to go back onto, if you go back to the app, there is a section there where you have hyperlinks directly to these organizations, directly to their websites. And so why did I start Women Veteran Engage? Granted, we've got conferences, we've got other things. So this was actually before COVID. I wanted to figure out, how can we connect women and meet them where she is at. And maybe someone doesn't not able to go to a conference, but also too, there are so many organizations, and you can see our partner locations. I'm sure most of you probably don't even know half of these. So how can we help elevate all of the great work that's being done for our community, to be able to highlight them, and also too, to connect all of you to meet locally, and then also too, to be able to connect with women nationally. And I know a lot of the organizations, some of you have speakers, some of you've got food, exhibitors, retreats. I mean, all of you are just doing different things. And that's what I truly wanted, is to have a local flair, if you say, and then to just be able to connect with women, because it's so important. And I'm sure all of you are going to nod your heads, for us to have community. And this is providing community to be able to give you resources and connect with other women veterans, as well as our supporters, because we need our supporters as well. And so, speaking of supporters, one of our national sponsors is Delta Dental. And Delta Dental has been a partner with us since the beginning. And Tammy there has been, again, a fantastic partner at Delta Dental, and she believes in what we're doing and connecting women veterans. And they've got a video that we're gonna show you here.
And can reduce more costly dental procedures later.
And if there's a problem, dental benefits help you pay for unexpected dental expenses.
You also get life perks, which are offers and discounts to help you maintain a healthy life.
Delta Dental has been helping military families with their oral health for more than 35 years.
We are proud to support service members and their families through donations to nonprofit organizations and volunteer work.
We'd love to help you keep a healthy smile. To explore the available plans, check the pricing in your area, and enroll today. We invite you to scan the code or visit deltadentalins.com/VADIP.
Thank you for your service. We'd be honored to help you keep smiling.
I heard from some of you that you didn't hear the beginning of the presentation. It's a quick one, so we're just going to go ahead and replay it so that way everybody can hear everything that was shared during that, and apologies for that. So we are going to replay it so everybody can hear from beginning to end. Thank you.
Delta Dental is proud to serve those who served. We've partnered with the VA to offer dental plans through the Veterans Affairs Dental Insurance Program, or VADIP, which serves veterans and CHAMP VA enrollees.
If you have questions about whether you're eligible for VADIP, visit www.va.gov. Then search for VADIP in the page search bar to review the requirements.
As one of the nation's leading dental benefits providers, we negotiate fees with our large nationwide network of dentists to reduce costs and keep premiums affordable for you. Choose from 3 levels of coverage based on your needs and budget.
The enhanced plan gives you a basic level of coverage at a lower monthly premium.
The comprehensive plan offers additional coverage for more advanced procedures such as crowns and implants, plus a higher annual maximum and no deductible in-network.
The Prime plan gives you the lowest out-of-pocket costs on covered services and the highest annual maximum.
All 3 plans offer 100% coverage in-network for important preventive care, like cleanings and exams, that help keep your teeth and gums healthy and can reduce more costly dental procedures later.
And if there's a problem, dental benefits help you pay for unexpected dental expenses.
You also get life perks, which are offers and discounts to help you maintain a healthy life.
Delta Dental has been helping military families with their oral health for more than 35 years.
We are proud to support service members and their families through donations to nonprofit organizations and volunteer work.
We'd love to help you keep a healthy smile. To explore the available plans, check the pricing in your area, and enroll today. We invite you to scan the code or visit deltadentalins.com/VADIP.
Thank you for your service. We'd be honored to help you keep smiling.
Thank you again, Delta Dental. As I shared before, just a little about Women Veterans Alliance. It started out as a meetup, now we're a global organization. And as you see, we have our Women Veterans Global Alliance. And if there's anybody that's interested in coming on our monthly calls, where we meet monthly with other women veteran organizations throughout the world, definitely want to make sure you get on our email list and you'll receive those emails as well. Also, too, several years ago, me and our co-publisher, Christina, launched Women Veterans Magazine, where we published a digital and imprint publication for California, Texas, and Pennsylvania. And if you are interested in bringing that publication to your state, please definitely reach out to us. And also, too, I have veteran events. On Veteran Events site is an online calendar where you can find different events, retreats, conferences. Also, too, if you are a speaker or looking for a speaker, we have a directory for speakers. And these are men and women that are veterans that are speakers, and they're always looking for opportunity to share their knowledge. And also, too, we provide event services, and you can scan the QR code. That'll take you to get more information for that as well. And then we have our next national sponsor, Veterans Benefits Guide. Thank you. Oh, all right. So I wanted to, oh, there she is. She's on.
Oh, sorry, Melissa. Of course, like any military operation, it went to shit as soon as it started. So my home Wi-Fi went out. So I'm on my phone right now. But hi, everyone. My name's Lisa Kalkis. I'm an Army veteran. And honestly, it took me a long time to say that sentence without a qualifier attached to it. So I just wanted to share a quick story that I think a lot of you will relate to. When I got out after my 4 years and I had one 15-month deployment, I didn't think of myself as a veteran. I was too busy building a career, starting a family, just moving forward with life. And looking back, I think one of the real reasons that I didn't identify as a veteran is I didn't feel like I earned it. I would say things to myself like, I only had one deployment. I never fired my weapon when I was deployed. Even though I graduated airborne school and I had the patch, I never jumped when I was in my unit. I didn't have a jump slot, and quite honestly, I didn't want one. I spent years putting other veterans on a pedestal and telling myself that I was somewhere below that line. So I never applied for benefits. To me, those were things that other people had earned, the people who were in Walter Reed or the people who had, done more. It wasn't until I started working more in the veteran space through my work at VBG that I started to see things differently. And at one point, I remember I came across an article and it kind of just stopped me cold because it described me. And the minimizing, the comparing, the quiet decision to step out of the identity of being a veteran rather than claim it. And it turns out that I wasn't the only one. The article was talking about how a lot of women do this, and we don't see ourselves in the picture of what a veteran looks like. And quite frankly, that has to stop. That picture is wrong, and that's not us. And every single one of us in this room has her own story, her own sacrifice, her own version of service. And every single one of those stories is valid. And the minimizing, right? That's bullshit. Like, we earned this, all of us have. So that's why places like the Women's Memorial in Arlington, that matters so much to me, because they exist to say your story counts. It belongs here. And that's why events like this one matter, and why I'm grateful to Melissa and the Women's Veteran Alliance, because they've built this community, and specifically this event, Engage. It's exactly what we need, a space to come together, to see each other, to stop shrinking. And I'm excited to be here with all of you. Thank you for showing up today, for showing up for yourselves and for each other. So thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Lisa. Hey, was it adapt and overcome? So you did that. You had another tool there. Thankfully, your phone was working. So thank you so much, and for being a partner as well. I appreciate that, and I'm sure a lot of women on here were nodding their heads as you were sharing that, because I've I've experienced that myself too. So we've all probably have felt that about ourselves or told ourselves that. So definitely, and I know there are so many other women out there that feel that way, and that's why it's important for all of us to be able to feel empowered ourselves, to be able to share our stories with others so they can be empowered too, because we should be we earned this. We are and proud of our service, and definitely. So thank you again, Lisa, for that. All right. So I want to thank our other national sponsors. For those of you that are in-person locations, Thrive Cosmetics, you should have some Thrive Cosmetics. They have been a phenomenal partner of ours for the last several years, and they shipload us a pallet of product that we disperse to all the in-person locations. So thank you again, Thrive Cosmetics. And I also like to always to give Thrive a plug, because I am not aware of any other organization when it comes to a foundation that makes donation that there's actually a military woman veteran pillar in their giving. You see other ones, but nothing specifically for our women. And I want to thank Thrive for thinking of us and continuing to do that. All right. So one of our other sponsors, we have the American Humane Pups for Patriots. So if you've been looking for a service dog, definitely want to reach out. Their information is on the app as well. And you can, of course, always Google them, but there is a contact person on the app. So if you are interested in a service dog, or maybe you're one of the organizations here online and would like to get more information to be able to share with veterans that you work with, definitely, and also first responders as well. But one of the reasons I'm sure that they partnered with us too is they want to reach more women. So here's an opportunity to reach more women. Also too, if you're in the locations, did you get probably the pink really cool water bottle? That came from our partner Flight by Pelvita, and some of us may have it or just embarrassed about bladder control issues. They have a product that's actually approved by the VA. And again, go to the app. You can find more information, a contact person there to get more information about that. So it's great to have a partner on here that is approved through the VA to be able to get something to help with bladder control. And our other national sponsor is the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Digital Health Office. Some of you may know them as previous name, which was the VA Office of Connected Care. And what they are doing is wanting to get our veterans connected, of course, digitally. That's why the name Digital Health Office. And we partnered with them last year or the year before, as they were doing Facebook Live events and really, wanted to share the information about the VA. So how many of you here, I can't see you, but your locations are, how many of you utilize the VA for your health care? Right? So if you're not, make that a to-do list to get registered so you can utilize the VA for your health care. And also too, you can find more information about the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Digital Health Office. And again, I'm just going to keep going back to the app because the app's got all that information that you need. So thank you again to our national sponsors. All right, so now we're going to get into the location. So since I'm here in Rockland, I'm going to go ahead and start first and talk about Women Veterans Giving. Women Veterans Giving is a nonprofit that I started a little over almost 10 years now. And the purpose of Women Veterans Giving is to provide professional development to our women veterans. And also too, when I say women veterans, that also means our active duty Guard and Reserve women as well. And that's the partnership with Thrive is through the Women Veterans Giving, again, which provides, product to our women. And then we also too have a small business award that we award. To date, we've awarded over $35,000 to our women veterans who have started or a for-profit or nonprofit. So if any of you there are sitting there or you know of a woman that she started a for-profit or nonprofit, get on that application. You can scan that QR code. The application's closed July 31st. And there will be 3 finalists that we will have come with us at the Veterans in Business Conference in Palm Springs first week of November. And one of those finalists will receive a check. And we also provide some additional resources, assessments, and some coaching to be able to help our finalists. So again, don't delay, get that application in because we want to help to infuse some money back into our women or to our women veterans who are starting a business, and whether it's again a for-profit or nonprofit, because we know when we start anything, we're investing our time and our money, and we want to be able to help that ease that a little bit for you with that. So again, you can scan that QR code, and it's going to take you to the application for the Small Business Award. All right, so I'm gonna go down to shoot it down to San Diego. You're up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Keisha Davis Jones. I'm the programs director here at Foundation for Women Warriors. We're a nonprofit organization that is existing to support women veterans as they transition. So we do everything from personal and professional development. Our programs are to keep women in their homes and help them advance their careers and their education. We have a financial assistance program to cover rent, utilities, emergency car repair, as well as a child care stipend program. Everyone knows the cost of child care is extremely expensive all across the United States. We also have personal and professional development, which that's why we love partnering with Women Veterans Alliance for the past 5 years for events like this. We have a cohort also that is going to close tomorrow. So if you're looking for a leadership program only for veterans, that application closes tomorrow. It is in partnership with Fortune's Most Powerful Woman, and we are still accepting applications. And then if you're in Southern California, we have a warehouse. We partner with a number of organizations as well as the local VAs for baby showers to provide them essential goods. So if you know anyone in Southern California that needs items, please have them contact us. And then for anything we don't do, we do have a resource and referral program. So if a woman doesn't know where to turn, they can always come to Foundation for Women Warriors to find the resources that they need. I'm going to let everyone in San Diego say hello. Hello.
Do we have anybody from Albany on? Albany County Veteran Service Bureau? Right. We'll go to the next one. If you come on, we'll go back. Hey, Peaceful Therapy Services, bringing peace to chaos.
Oh, I'm trying to make sure that there's no low
We hear you.
feedback. Is there feedback?
No.
Is there feedback? Okay. What about now? Can you see me now?
We could see you and hear you.
Not sure why the video's not coming on.
We'll come back to you.
Jen from Colorado. Jennifer, are you on?
She's there, just we can't hear her.
Okay.
Hello, friends. I'm Danielle Springall, an Army combat medic veteran and VFW leader from the state of Kansas. And one thing I've learned since leaving the military is that service doesn't end when we hang up the uniform. Across America, veterans continue serving their communities, supporting one another, and ensuring no veteran has to navigate life's challenges alone. At the Veterans of Foreign Wars, we are still serving.
For more than a century, the Veterans of Foreign Wars has carried the torch for veterans through every era, every challenge. Our story began after the Spanish-American War, when wounded and forgotten veterans banded together and formed the VFW in 1914 to demand a nation worthy of their sacrifice. In the 1920s, the Buddy Poppy became a living symbol of remembrance, and the VFW National Home opened its doors to families in need. Through the Great Depression and beyond, the VFW helped build a stronger VA, fought for fair benefits, and made Veterans Day a national tradition. World War II swelled the ranks, and with the VFW-backed GI Bill of Rights, education and home ownership benefits helped transform veterans' futures. Korea and Vietnam brought new battles at home and abroad. The VFW stood up for those who served, exposing broken care, pushing recognition of Agent Orange and PTSD, and welcoming troops home with dignity. From Desert Storm to today's deployments, VFW posts have rallied communities, sent care packages, funded relief, and provided real help when disaster struck. After September 11th, we expanded support, pre-discharge claims help, financial assistance grants, modernized GI Bill benefits, and never stopped advocating in Washington. Recently, we helped pass the historic PACT Act, expanding care for those exposed to toxins, and we keep veterans safe from predatory claim sharks. Today, the VFW's mission thrives through our network of posts all around the world, from making an impact in our communities through VFW Day of Service to connecting veteran gamers to prevent isolation. We are still leading, still advancing, still serving. From our first generation to the next, our promise endures. No one does more for veterans.
For more than 126 years, the VFW has been serving veterans, fighting for benefits, and building communities of support. Today, that mission continues through Veterans Helping Veterans. If you need assistance with a VA disability claim, benefits question, or appeals process, scan the QR code on your screen, and one of our accredited service officers can help guide you through the process. And if you're a woman veteran looking for connection, support, and a community that understands your journey, we encourage you to connect with your local VFW and Women Veteran program in your area. Because our service doesn't stop when military service ends. We are still serving. Bye for now.
Let's go to the next.
Oh, does she not realize they're here? We're both here.
Debbie, are you ready?
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Debbie Clifford, retired veteran and child of a WAC. And so I've been in the military my whole life. I think I was born into it and I continue to be into it today. I'm talking about one of our sponsors with the Ohio National Guard Enlisted Association. We're part of a national organization that has chapters in every state and territory in the District of Columbia. We advocate for the benefits for our National Guard soldiers and airmen. But anyone can be a member because they affect all veterans. So we encourage people to look for your local thing or become an associate member of our local chapter. And we go to the Hill, we go walk on, we go visit congressmen at state and national levels to try to advocate for, GI Bill parity, disability reform. Right now, the Richard Star Act is the big one we're doing, that if a member is medically retired due to combat, they are not eligible to receive the military retirement that they would be eligible for in addition to their VA disability payment. So that's the big one we're trying to get now, is to get that offset removed, so that if you're medically retired with less than 20 years and as a combat veteran, you can receive both your disability and your VA disability at the same time. So become involved, become an associate member. There's a code on the screen that you can to get a discount to join today, Women's Vets. And I'll turn it over to Renee.
Hi, everyone. We're really excited to be here. My name is Renee Frey. I'm retired as well from the Air National Guard. And I'm kind of dual-hatted because I serve as the Women Veterans Advisory Committee Vice Chair, and I'm also the Secretary for the Ohio National Guard Enlisted Association. So with the Women Veterans Advisory Committee, we serve at the pleasure of the Director of Veteran Services, Major General Harris. And, our mission is to, connect resources, benefits, try to connect, make the connections with women. What we're doing today is phenomenal. And on the screen, there's a QR code that takes you right to the women's page on the ODVS website. And we have quarterly meetings that are open to the public. So I encourage everyone to join some of the meetings and find out what's going on in our state. And then I just want to do a big shout out for that. We're having the biannual Ohio Veterans Convention this year. And it's on August 8th. And we would love for you to sign up. All you have to do is go to the ODVS website and you'll find the registration link there. They'll have all kinds of resources and, different speakers. And every time I've attended one, I walk away with so many new, resources and ideas and connections, networking, like today. So thank you all for being here. And we are very excited about today.
Kim? Kim, you need to unmute.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Captain Kim. I'm an Army veteran.
And I'm Captain Dakota, also Army.
We are the founders of Rebel and Retreat Project and Dog Tag Diary podcast.
Rebel and Retreat Project offers transformative healing retreats free to military women. And we incorporate different healing modalities into these retreats for all women to enjoy.
And Dog Tag Diary podcast was born out of these retreats. We learned that these women were getting so vulnerable on our retreats and telling their stories. And it is so important for every military woman to get their story out there. So go onto our QR code and sign up for our podcast, and we will see you at one of our retreats.
Attention, Sea Service personnel. If you are a current or former enlisted member of the Navy, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard, you are eligible to join the Fleet Reserve Association, FRA. The Fleet Reserve Association is a congressionally chartered professional military association that represents the interest of enlisted personnel of the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard. The FRA is the only enlisted-based organization chartered to testify before Congress. It is therefore a vital part of our mission to bring that enlisted voice to Capitol Hill to preserve and enhance pay, benefits, and quality of life programs for active duty, reserve, retired, and veterans of the sea services. Founded in 1924 by a Navy Chief Petty Officer, the FRA is a national organization with branches throughout the country. FRA branches serve their local communities by participating in supporting community activities and veteran outreach programs, and by sponsoring and encouraging youth activities such as Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, Sea Cadets, and junior ROTC programs. The FRA sponsors an annual essay contest with a patriotic theme for students in grades 7 through 12 Monetary prizes are awarded at the branch, regional, and national levels. Although our primary purpose is to bring your voice to Capitol Hill, benefits of FRA membership include eligibility for scholarships through the FRA Education Foundation, complimentary subscription to FRA Today, a monthly magazine to keep you up to date with the latest news affecting you and your family, News Bites, a free weekly legislative email update, discounts on auto insurance, car rentals, subscriptions to Navy and Marine Corps Times, and life and health insurance programs at affordable group rates. Join over 60,000 of your sea service brothers and sisters shipmates and lend your voice to our representatives testifying before Congress. Additional information, membership applications, and branch locations are available from FRA headquarters or from the FRA website.
Well, there I am. I hope you can see me now. So this is Phyllis Wilson, president of the Military Women's Memorial. And we're really excited. We have a group here at the Military Women's Memorial. I'm here today. We have actually an incredible number of honor flights coming in. So it's a very busy place today, but I'm going to actually step into the room. I can't see me. I'm hoping if I step in to where we're doing Women Veterans Engage, here we are. So I want to kind of show you what this room looks like. Okay, if nothing else, sound off. We have about 30 women veterans and 5 sponsors. I'm going to step back out. Feedback. So the Military Women's Memorial is the national memorial for all women of all branches of service, all eras, all generations. And we are just swamped here today. I cannot tell you how many people are in and out of this place at Arlington National Cemetery. But what I want to share with all of you, what is so important and what's in front of every one of the women that are physically here today, we need your story. We want your story so desperately into our national database. That QR code that you see will get you to the Women's Memorial website. Please, today, in the midst of this Women Veterans Engage, step up. Create your account if you have not yet done so. It takes about 30 seconds. If you already have started putting your story in, congratulations, but I'll bet you it could be updated. So either way, get into your account. We have over 340,000 women's stories in that database, but there should be 3 million. So we have a long ways to go, folks. But let's help Melissa and Women Veterans Alliance, Women Veterans Engage, set a new record today for the most registrations in a single day. Get your phone out, get that QR code, womensmemorial.org, create an account. Unless you already have one, don't do it twice, okay? But create an account if you haven't yet done it. It's 250 years of this country, 250 plus years of women supporting, serving, and defending this nation. Step up today, please. Take your rightful place in history. Start telling your story here at the National Military Women's Memorial. And congratulations, Melissa, on all that you do to support women veterans, military women writ large, and for being such a great partner with me personally. Thanks so much.
Cheryl, we could see you and hear you.
Oh, I can't see myself. Okay, well, we're here from Bedford. Can you see me? Oh, okay. Okay. Better? Okay, hey, we're here from Bedford, VA. And I'm here with many women who braved some horrible weather today to come out with us. And we are excited. Woo! And we are very excited to be a host site for the third year with Women Veterans Alliance. We can't thank Melissa and her team enough for all they do for women veterans. We're super excited to be part of this. VA Bedford is a VA in Massachusetts. We partner with the Boston VA, Central Western Mass VA, and all of our sister VAs in Vision One, which is New England. And we offer extensive services for our women, and we're sharing those here today with our partners, our community partners. So thank you so much for including us, and enjoy the day, ladies. This is for you. Woo! Thank you, Melissa.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm hoping you can hear me okay.
Yep, we can
this
hear
is
to you.
all right. Feedback. Am I good on feedback?
You're good to go.
All right, I'm Lynn Magistrelli Krieger, and I'm with Western New York Heroes. And long and short, I got to meet Melissa in Vegas. I signed up for a Camouflage Sisters retreat solo and was terrified, not only going by myself, but to Vegas to meet a bunch of women, and made some great friendships and came up some ideas to bring back to Buffalo, New York to start a women veterans group. We had our first retreat, and that was, Melissa, I don't know what year that was. Quite a few years ago, 8 years ago or more. And since then, I got to follow Melissa's journey and jump on this Women Veterans Engage and invite all my beautiful sisters to this event with all this amazing knowledge. Western New York Heroes does a lot of financial assistance with rent, mortgage, and utilities. We did not have a women veterans group, and after I retired and started working for Western New York Heroes, I said, well, why not? And here we are, 600 women in Western New York strong. They are not all here. Shame on them. Just kidding. We all have lives, children, families, obligations, and we understand that. So we try and do a lot of different events in the community in different areas to bring women together. Such events like this, we try and be unique so that we're not repeating events that are already taking place in the community, and do something a little special and a little different. Today we're at a beautiful restaurant called Morluski's, and we are all here together. There's about 40 of us, 50 of us signed up for this event. I know a couple couldn't attend due to car trouble or life. So we always are very forgiving of that, and we will share all this information with everybody going forward. And we also were super excited about the wildflower theme, and we also got a beautiful bouquet area over there. We're going to have a little take home for everybody to take with them, and to let the rest of this day follow them and have a beautiful bouquet of flowers to go with them. We also do have a Positive for Heroes program, and so I'm super excited hearing about the National Service Dog program. And I will be contacting you because we believe in strength in numbers. So our Positive for Heroes program is a service dog program for veterans in the community, and we do also work with some first responders. One of our service dogs is actually here from our program down below. I don't know if you'll be able to see that the infamous Nadia is here with her handler, Trish. So we're very excited to also have Positive for Heroes in the area, and we'll be linking with all of you soon. And I'm very excited to share all your information. We have all your goodies from Thrive, from all the wonderful sponsors, and we're very thankful to be here. And everybody, if you all want to say hi. Thank you so much for having us. The energy is great here, as I'm sure it is everywhere else.
Hello, women veterans. This year, the Portland area event here in the state of Oregon was a true collaborative effort, and Returning Veterans Project just gets to be the lucky ones to present. I'm Amy, the executive director with the Returning Veterans Project, and this is Alice, a fellow woman veteran and also a board member.
Go Army.
Air Force.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Amy. So when service members come home, the mission, as you all know, does not always end. Many veterans and military families continue carrying invisible wounds, stress, trauma, isolation, and the challenges of transition.
That's where the Returning Veterans Project comes in. RVP connects veteran service members and their families with free, confidential mental and physical health services through a network of volunteer providers across the state of Oregon and Southwest Washington.
What makes RVP unique is community. Our providers, by the way, one of our providers is in the room, shout out to Stephanie Lincoln, donate their time and expertise because they believe no veteran or military family should face healing alone.
From trauma therapy and couples counseling to acupuncture, massage, equine therapy, and somatic care, RVP helps lower barriers and create pathways to healing that are compassionate, accessible, and human-centered.
Every connection matters. Every provider matters. Every donor matters.
Because healing does not happen in isolation. It happens when communities show up for those who served.
Whether you're a veteran seeking support, a provider wanting to volunteer, or a community member looking to make a difference, there's a place for you in this mission.
So join us. If you're here in our area, build resilience, connection, and hope for veterans and their families. You can learn more and donate at returningveterans.org.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, fantastic. My name is Linda Hesh. I retired in 2024 from the Army National Guard. This is my second time hosting here in Lorton, Virginia, and I'm representing the Enlisted Association of the National Guard of the United States. And we advocate for our National Guard service members and veterans. I am the chair for the Women's Affairs Committee, and our focus is on addressing issues that affect our National Guard servicewomen and women veterans. So we lobby Congress to address the issues that affect us, like the National Guard Child Care Tax Credit, which is meant to incentivize childcare on drill weekends so that nobody has to stay home and miss drill. We also partner with other organizations to provide outreach and networking events for our servicewomen. And if you would like to support our efforts, please scan the QR code and check out our website. And I'm going to have all the ladies here today say hello. Thank you.
Dana? Shatea, are you ready?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I am Shatea Baker with Peaceful Therapy Services here in Sacramento. I provide mental health therapy to just about anyone who comes through my doors. I specialize in reducing anger, depression, anxiety, and grief therapy. And I do accept insurance from a variety of panels. And that's just about it. We have a few, but mighty women here in Sacramento, in South Sacramento. Thanks for having me.
Jen from Colorado, are you available? You have to unmute. Hi, Jen, we see you, but I don't hear you.
while Jen's figuring that out, because we'll come back to you, Jen, don't worry. Is Dana available from the Cuddling Critters? There she is. She's
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Dana.
Hello, everyone. I am Dana Wall, founder and CEO of DNS Cuddling Critters. We are a mobile therapy company, and how we came about because I am a female veteran who served 2 tours, one in Iraq, one in Afghanistan. And upon my return from home during my transition, I really seen how traditional forms of counseling just did not cut it for all of us, especially those of us that were coming back from deployments. To traditional brick and mortar counseling sessions take a lot of trust. And veterans, as we all know, sometimes we don't trust just everyone. So we now use our goats in place of horses for ultimately equine therapy. And so on the for-profit side, we are a mobile therapy company that utilizes our goats with licensed counselors, social workers, and we take our services directly out into the community, wherever that individual's safe space is. That can be their home, their office, a park, wherever that is. Then on the nonprofit side, I oversee 11 different programs. All of them have to deal with mental health awareness and suicide prevention. We have also established a program called Safe Central Texas, Suicide Awareness for Everyone, where we bring in our community supporters and our residents, and we just get them to know where those resources are, and then also allow our resources, our organizations, to know how they can better structure these programs to actually impact our community. And so today we are here in Salado, Texas at the Stagecoach Inn. We have rented out the ballroom for the day, and we have our female veterans and our local community members. We also have leadership from city and state officials here with us today, and they are getting firsthand experiences and knowledge from those that have served our country very honorably.
Thank you, Dana. Jen, are you ready?
Looks like she's having some technical issues. Well, Jen is having and we know this happens, and also too, that's why we have QR codes too. So that way, if you are in Colorado or want to learn more about the great work that Jennifer is doing there with Women Who Serve Colorado Veterans, definitely scan the QR code. Their event is currently in Lone Tree there in Colorado. So thank you all. All right, I think we got everybody. My goodness. Yes, we did. All right, that was a lot of information, a lot of amazing people, amazing organizations doing great things. And I again want to thank all of our partners for coming along and participating in this. And just remind everybody to, please take photos and upload them, especially all of our different locations, because some of you really leaned into the wildflower theme, which I'm going to talk about, which is phenomenal. But one of the things too, with Engage is, you hear a lot about, women making sure we're seen and heard, which is great. But, with Engage, really taking it a step further and, really going beyond that. I'm hoping all of you will feel the same way I do, of feeling refreshed and recharged with the knowledge that you have. And hopefully some of you are probably also being a little bit pampered and getting some, because you know what? You all deserve it. Absolutely 1000%. Everyone here, you deserve it. And I'd like to also acknowledge some of the shout outs to the military branches. So with that, and I should have did this at the beginning, but we need to know who's who and who's where. And I know you won't be able to hear us, but at least in your room you can hear you. So where's the Army at? What? All right, I could hear him. I could hear him out here. All right, Army. All right, Marine Corps. Where the Marines at? Raw. All right. I hear the devil dogs. All right. Best branch, Navy. Go Navy, go Navy. All right. Coast Guard. Anybody? And I think we've got some Coast Guard this time too. So Coast Guard. All right. And Air Force. All right. I hear them out here too. All right. Air Force. I don't know if we got any Space Force, but awesome, awesome. You know, that's what this is all about. It's all about, about that connecting and, and also too, to show you that anything is possible. Hearing the stories from others who have, whether it's, Lynn, who I met in Las Vegas, and, went back and started, started to get women veterans together. We all can do it and we can all help each other too. So don't feel like, oh, I can't do something, or I don't know how. You have a sisterhood of women here that want to help not only you, because if I can help one person, she's going to help someone too. So it's really important that we do that. So one of the other things too with on Women Veterans Alliance, we have a page on our website that is dedicated to anything women veteran related. So I started the page out as conferences. Then I added retreats, and then we had to have cruises, because if you don't know, I've been on a women veteran cruise, Camouflage Sisters. I might have been before COVID. We went on a cruise, but now I see at least 3-4 cruises happening. I know Phyllis and the Women's Memorial, they're getting ready to go to Normandy on a trip. So all of these different events are located on our Women Veterans event page. So you can scan the QR code, or you can just type in the website link too. So if you have events, send them over to us, because we put them on this Women Veteran event page. And then we also put them on our veteran event calendar, because we want to help elevate and bring awareness to all the greatness that's going on. And if you don't know, June 12th is coming up. That is Women Veterans Recognition Day. And let me tell you, this year, I see so many more events taking place than I have in previous years. So definitely go to the site. If you don't see your event, get it to us. We're going to put it on our page, so that way women and others can know where they can go to be able to connect with those on June 12th. All right. So as we can see, anything is possible here. How do we submit? So I see Shelly asked me how we submit pictures. So that is going to be the QR code. So Terry, if you can go back to the QR code. Thank you, Shelly. So we are coming on where we are going to be coming up to a break. So that way you can all take a break locally. You don't have to continue to listen here to the national broadcast. Here, if you want to upload photos, there's a QR code to do that, as well as on the app. So what's going to happen next is there's going to be a pause of watching a screen. And I know some of you have some activities planned, some networking, food, and then you're going to come back and we're going to hear from our keynote speaker, Shelly. And I've known Shelly for a long time. And actually, Shelly, along with Foundation for Women Warriors, has been with Women Veterans Engaged since the first one. And I appreciate both organizations believing in what we're doing. And so earlier this year, I was having a call with Shelly, and she was sharing with me about this wildflower assessment. And of course, when you hear things, you're trying to get your mind around, okay, what is this? And I get pitched a lot of different things from a lot of people, and what Shelly shared with me, and I don't want to give everything away because I don't want to do that, but it made sense. And she's using AI, and she's using technology, and she's using ways way outside of the box, which we definitely need to get outside of the box. And not a lot of times, some of the traditional ways don't work, but what she's doing and what she's created with wildflowers is amazing. And she'll share with you, I'm sure, why she chose wildflowers. And if you didn't have a chance to take the assessment, you can take the assessment during the break. And if you did take the assessment, you got the email back that shows you the flower that you are, but also too, it has to do with the way we communicate with each other. And what she's created gives us opportunity to strengthen even more how we communicate with other women. And the link was in the website as well. So if you wanted to go there to take the assessment, and that way you'll have a little bit more understanding of what Shelly's going to be talking about when she comes back after the break. With that, and feel free to, I think we might be, if we want to get to the slide where the break time is. There we go. Woo. All right. So we're going to break and we'll see you all back. This is the time. We don't have music, but if you've got music in your location, y'all could jam there with whatever you got. And again, take those photos. As I mentioned before, a lot of you locations from candles to wildflower seeds to art have really lead into the wildflower theme, and we you guys should just brag about what you've done here. So we will see you all back, and you're going to see Shelly when you come back. So thank you all. All right, Shelley, are you there? You ready to go?
Yes, ma'am, 100%.
Woohoo! All right. It's all you, lady. Thank you for being here and doing this.
It's my honor. Thank you. The military is not the primary thing in our lives anymore. It's just the thing that we all have in common. So as you're gathering into your seats, I want to see a quick show of hands. Who chose to get out? Put in a packet, had a transition date. Nice. All right, hands down. Now, how about those of us who were told to get out? We had admin issues. Yeah, big strong hand back there. I also was not ready to hang up my uniform. And finally, how about a show of hands for those of us who are still wearing the uniform? Nice. Thank you for continuing our legacy. You can all be at ease. Now, whichever the first two groups that you're in, whether you chose to get out or you were forced out of the military is not the primary thing in your life anymore. And so let's stay in this moment for just a little bit longer.
Is she on now?
What did you do when you hung up the uniform? I'm willing to bet that you did as what military women do. You found the next thing. Maybe it was a new career or a business. Maybe it was a nonprofit that you jumped feet first into. A degree, a relationship, maybe even a move to a new city. Maybe it was all of these things, one after another, each one feeling like, oh yes, this is going to make me feel like myself again. And did each thing fall a little bit short? Maybe you didn't get that interview. Or after a year, you started to feel overlooked. Let's go deeper than that. Maybe you feel betrayed by your own body right now. Maybe your daughter developed an addiction to pain pills, or you find yourself as the caretaker of a parent with dementia. In the military, our uniform covered up a lot of life's letdowns. And so what do we do now without the uniform? We take each of these disappointments and we file them. We put them in this one filing cabinet. And at the top of the cabinet, there's a label and it says, something is wrong with me. I want to offer you a different explanation today. Thomas Munson wrote, "Never let a problem to be solved be more important than a person to be loved." Here's what I think is happening to us. The military fixes problems or erases them. Even if there is a problem, they say that it doesn't exist on the record. Well, we left that system and we brought that same framework home. We're seeking new credentials, new communities, new purpose. We're scanning that horizon consistently for the next best thing that will make us feel whole. It doesn't work. We're winning battles. We're winning battles every day. And we're storing these awards in our closet. We will never find what we're looking for out there because we're looking in the wrong direction entirely. You, my beautiful friend, you are not a problem to be solved. You are a person to be loved. And that love lives in here. Most of us have never given ourselves permission to slow down long enough to find it. And that's what this hour is about today. Here's how we're going to spend our time. We have 3 sessions to get through: recognize, shift, possibility. First, we recognize. In the next 20 minutes, we name what's been happening and why across the woman veteran landscape. Then we shift. 3 specific things you can start changing today to change that landscape. And finally, possibility. Women who made the turn and how you can take that next step from here. Let's start by recognizing why we've been looking in the wrong place. Here's why looking outside of ourselves made sense for so long. The structure that we served in, it gave us so much. It told us exactly who to be, where to stand, what to do, and it gave us belonging, even freedom. And then that story ended. The uniform comes off permanently. We're standing in the middle of our own lives as civilians with all of our skills still intact and no external source telling us how valuable we are anymore. So here we are, we're doing our own thing. And someone says, relax, this ain't the military. And you know what? I kind of wish it was because at least then people knew how to behave a little bit. They didn't break a window and just leave the glass for someone else to clean up. They understood that cleavage and booty shorts are not the approved uniform. And we, as military women, we were trained to be extraordinary at everything, at reading everything around us, that precision. Your woman's intuition layered on top of your military training. That's what kept people alive, and that's true, no matter which role you filled. But in all that time, with all that training, no one ever taught us to turn that focus, that intuition, inward. Shocker here. I know, the military didn't teach us how to process our feelings. So when that external structure disappeared, we did the only thing that we know how to do. We looked for another external structure to replace it. And don't just take my word for it. Leading up to today's presentation, I interviewed hundreds of women veterans, including your very own Debbie Clifford in Ohio. So let's hear from her now.
When you stripped away all the labels, I had a lot of labels. I had no idea. For 20-some years, I had been somebody's wife, somebody's mother, somebody's daughter, a soldier, an airman. I had all these labels and a leader, an NCO. And when all those were pulled away, I had lived in those labels for so long. I had no idea who I was. I had talked to myself since I was 17 years old and didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't know what I wanted to do then. That's why I went in the Guard to begin with. I had no idea what I wanted to be or do. So I'm back to the 17-year-old that still goes, well, you didn't figure out what you wanted to do. I'm like, crap, who am I? What do I do? And I had no idea what to do. I went through a pretty good bout of depression and anxiety just because I didn't know if I'm not these things, who am I? And am I worthy of being even liked, loved? Why would anybody want to know me if I'm nothing?
Know that this is not a Debbie problem. This is what happens when the only place that we look is within ourselves. Debbie loved her time in military service. Her training was a gift to her, and our training was a gift to us. It gave us a chance to really be excellent. The problem is not what we've learned. The problem is that we haven't quite learned when to set it down. And so we're still carrying this skill set. And we're carrying it into rooms that we were never meant to bring it into. Now, the external voices that pointed out all the deficiencies over time, these external voices became our internal voices, and they're still pointing out deficiencies. And the longer that we listen to these voices, the harder it becomes to separate what's true from what we've just heard over and over again. We can see ourselves clearly when we look in the mirror. We really can. But we just don't like what we see. And so this constant rally cry, this chase is costing us internally. Every time the thing doesn't produce the wholeness that we were hoping for, we don't ask whether we're looking in the right direction. We focus on what we think is wrong with us. Thoughts like, if I was in better shape, maybe they wouldn't have cheated. If I had made a different choice, my life would be better. Well, as a former intelligence officer, I'm always looking for gaps in the data sets. And what's become obvious to me is that we as women veterans have a gap when it comes to liking ourselves. When we're alone at night, the boots are off, the bra is gone, things are sagging the way nature intended, and our makeup gets washed down the drain along with the rest of the day. And when we're in this moment, We don't like ourselves very much. Because during the day, we take our known flaws, our pointed out flaws, and all of life's disappointments, we take them personally. And I call this a gap because highly capable women, we would never handle any operational problem like this. But here we are, not liking ourselves. And so what's happening is this. We're filing our disappointing life experiences under proof about me, when really it belongs in a file of information about the terrain. The toxic commander, that marriage that fell apart, I got one of those. The career that stalled, I got one of those. None of that was ever evidence about our worth. All of it was data about the terrain. We are excellent analysts, and we're operating on a corrupted data set. And we've been using our own precision, our own intuition against ourselves. Here's where the self-blame pattern comes from. The system that we served in made value conditional. You mattered if you performed. You were selected for the ability to put the mission first and yourself last. And now those are real skills. Each one is an arrow. And they've served us very, very well. So hear me when I say that the issue is not the skill themselves. The issue is that we brought them home and we kept pointing them at ourselves. We've been applying this protect and serve mindset to everyone on the mission roster, except for the one person that it was always also meant to cover.
I hate to say this about the military, but I feel like it stripped some of my femininity. And that to me was part of my superpower. And so for me to go from having this feminine, loving, nurturing nature to kind of having that be shut down just so that you can survive in a military environment, and then trying to figure that out post-military, it definitely was something that I didn't easily find again.
So we learned to make ourselves smaller so that the room could feel bigger. And we learned to manage everyone else's comfort before our own. And that instinct in itself isn't wrong. The direction of it's wrong. We've been pointing the most powerful thing that we have, our capacity to protect, to serve, to show up completely. We've been pointing this at everyone but ourselves. And I want to tell you how I know all of this. In 2016, I woke up with a jarring headache. I lost vision in one of my eyes, and eventually I couldn't drive, I couldn't work. As a divorced parent, I couldn't even cook without help for my kid. Everything that made me feel capable, everything that told me that I was useful, it all went dark at the same time. And I got really scared in that season. They couldn't find a cause, and to this day, they never have. And I was faced with the question, what if my vision never comes back? Out of fear, I started moving. From my hospital bed, I was building. I created the business formation paperwork that now is the work that we do today. And that's because I got a taste of how hard things could get. And it lit a fire. In those times, I thought I was being resilient and pushing through. But what I was actually doing was running from the question. After treatment, my vision slowly returned, and the whole issue just disappeared, just as mysteriously as it had come. I was still in the reserves, approaching 30, with a newfound faith. For the next 2 years, I worked through a branch transfer from the chaplain corps, from intelligence into the chaplain corps. But I never actually got there because I hit time and grade, and email discharge orders came. Yeah, email. They emailed me my discharge orders. That really hurt. I was told just to re-enlist directly into the chaplain corps, but after 2 years of fighting, my packet was finally deemed disqualified. Now, I'll tell you, it takes a lot to break me. And I was sitting at a stoplight when the tears came. I thought this was my path. I thought, God, I'm supposed to be a military chaplain. But what came back, it wasn't an answer, it was a question. Shelley, do you have to be a soldier to serve the soldiers? I pulled over and I sat with that for a really long time. I'm still sitting with it. It drives me every day. Do you have to be a soldier to serve the soldiers? What I finally understood is that my value, my ability to serve a purpose, it didn't live in the uniform. The institution removed permission for me to serve them, but it didn't remove my capacity to serve. Do you have to be a soldier to serve the soldiers? At that moment, it didn't matter whether Shelley was in a hospital bed, whether her eyes even worked. She didn't need a rank or a title. She had the capacity to serve, and that was enough. It was enough then to show up for myself, and it's still enough today to show up here for you. And that is proof of something that the performance metrics never measured. Now, I know that you have a version of that moment too, a time when the external validation was gone and you still showed up for someone. The question that I spent years building a framework around is right here. Where does your value live when everything that proved it is taken away? We call this your tactical center. And by the end of the hour, you're going to know how to find yours. So now that we've named what's been happening, the pattern, where it came from, and why it made sense, let's talk about what we do with it. Section 2 is about the shift. And there's 3 specific moves here. Each one is something that you can start today. So let's get into it. You were never the problem to solve. You were always the person worth loving. The first step is to frame the terrain. And it's the hardest one because it's not an action, it's a stop. Stop treating yourself like a problem to be solved. The phrase, I am enough. I am enough. That phrase might not work for everyone in this room. Our brains are evidence-based. We smell that gap between what we're being asked to believe and what we can actually verify. So let's back out just a little bit here and look at the data. Performance-based value kept us alive. It moved the mission forward. That logic was exactly right for that environment, and it was never meant to be aimed at our inherent self-worth. The precision, the intuition that we used to hunt down threats, to protect the people to the left and to the right, that precision was also meant to protect ourselves. We were never meant to solve the problem. We were always just meant to love the person.
When you're secure about what you bring to the table, it doesn't matter what other people think. I wish I could go back. That's like one piece of advice I would give myself earlier, is not to invest in what other people think about me. I've been embracing my solitude by allowing myself to kind of try new things or do things on my own. So for a Daisy who likes to be in a very social setting, you can choose to do something. Like, let's say for me, I want to learn photography. So macro photography specifically. So I went out and I bought myself a nice fancy camera and I'm teaching myself how to do it. And that's a very alone activity. When we work on ourselves internally, we can make such a better impact to everyone around us. And that has been a strong struggle for me to really just say, okay, investing in me is just as important as investing in all of these other people, because I can be better when I have invested in myself appropriately.
We lost ourselves entirely because we were strong enough to endure what would break someone else, and we mistook endurance for virtue. I say this to you as someone who teaches a course on intimate partner violence, and I teach it as a person with lived experience. I am a strong, independent woman who doesn't need anyone, and therefore the only one who can treat me like a doormat is the person that I allow to treat me like a doormat. That was my dual military marriage for nearly a decade. Like me, I wonder, are you mistaking endurance for virtue? Are you mistaking endurance for virtue? This right here, this fist, it can keep us alive. This fist finished the mission. This fist itself is not the enemy. We all have battles to fight, but you can't receive with a closed hand. You can't bloom with a closed hand. And so the fist to flower, it's not a personality change. It's a permission slip that we give ourselves to stop treating ourselves like the last priority on the mission. So that's step one, we frame the terrain. We need to stop solving and start seeing. And the second step that we get into here is learning to read yourself the way that you read a map. Name your flower. We're talking about the same tuition, the same precision that you've always used, but finally pointing it inward to yourself. We want to read ourselves the way we read a map instead of how you would read a verdict, because a verdict tells you what you deserve. But a map just tells you where you are. It can tell you where you've been, and it can tell you what terrain is ahead. We've been reading ourselves as a verdict for years. Every flaw can become proof of inadequacy. Every season can be filed as something is wrong with me. Now, the Wildflower Assessment was built for women who need proof before buying into something. And the assessment doesn't show you or tell you what's wrong with you. It just shows you your pattern. And it tells you how you work. And you're not alone. So take a moment right now and pull up your assessment results so that you can see where you fit. Welcome to the Woman Veteran Wildflower Personality Garden. There are 8 flowers, and together they represent one language to read yourself and your peers in. How you process the world, what you need to bloom, where your energy comes from and where it goes. Your primary bloom is where you're most at home, and yet no woman will ever be 100% any flower. You're also a blend, and that's what makes you unique. That's why men don't understand us, and that's why we also don't understand each other, and that's why sometimes we don't even understand ourselves. You're never just one flower. This is the beginning of turning your intuition onto yourself. So here's what it looks like when a woman veteran is seen. Do you remember what your flower is?
Oh, I do, the hollyhock.
I remember that I was predominantly a daisy.
A hollyhock.
I'm a daisy.
It's a goldenrod. That I remember.
My wildflower profile for the woman assessment that I did is a sunflower. I was excited when I saw that.
Felt like it sounded pretty on par because it was you're kind of like adaptable. You can thrive in a lot of different situations.
Your primary flower is the hollyhock, and I get a lot of that out of you. Your secondary bloom is the lily, which is almost the exact opposite. The lily, it does like a burst and then it disappears for a recharge, and that's the lily pattern. Do you see that in yourself?
Yes, because I get very excited and sometimes I forget to balance my energy. I go in full force and then I'm like, oh gosh, I feel tired. Why do I feel tired? I should be able to keep going. And I was like, oh, honey, let's take care of yourself too. So yes, I definitely see that.
And it even says I'm looking at the comprehensive guide here, it says when Lily goes dark during recovery, it can feel like abandonment, even self-abandonment. Do you feel that? Do you feel like, oh, Kim, where's your spark? Like, are you kind of harsh on yourself with your internal words like that?
Oh gosh, you're going to make me cry now. Yeah, absolutely. I really do. I mean, wow, you said that perfectly.
The daisy is somebody who's flexible and can fall into all of the places and kind of hold things together like the glue for everything. I feel like I definitely need to own that flower because that encompasses me 100%.
One, I think sunflower is absolutely beautiful. Just the flower in itself aspect of it, how they lean towards the sun. It says steady by design. I would definitely say that is me.
I really liked the wildflower analogy because I'm a gardener and I appreciate flowers so much. So well done. They're pretty, so that there's like the beauty that pulls you in. I really enjoy gardening and being able to create a space using nature that makes me feel good. When I can garden, I feel very connected to the earth. There's definitely like some therapeutic elements to it when you're just out there touching and smelling the dirt. There's also like a great sense of accomplishment when you can plant a garden and nurture it and then see it, bloom and come to life and be what you were trying to make it.
It's a tool to understand how to interact with people a little bit better. There is definitely strength in working with someone that has different strengths than you do. Your assessment actually captured something a little bit different with me too, but is very accurate. I thought when I read through it, I felt like it captured how I do things behind the scenes too. And I'm an includer, and I had to learn that too, that because that's my natural tendency, but you cannot always include people. So, and being comfortable or understanding that, just pulling all of it together helps you to know yourself better and help develop yourself too.
Sometimes we forget to stop and remind ourselves how special our gifts are. And through your wildflower assessment, it really reminded me how beautiful I really am and what I'm able to provide for the world. So thank you again for doing this, because other assessments I have done has been great in allowing me to identify myself. But this one was more of just this feminine flow, and it just made me smile when you see the flower and the colors. And I was like, yes, that's me. That is so me. And thank you for reminding me of who I am.
Different branches, different decades, different terrain. And every single one of them landed in the same place. That's me. Someone finally named it. And that's what this assessment does. That's what a map does. It just tells you where you are. And in the moment where you know where you are, well, you can start navigating there from truth instead of shame. And so now it's time to recognize you. Here are our sunflowers. Just like Jennifer and me, I'm a sunflower. You stand tall and you stand on your own. You're always oriented toward the people and the purpose that matters most to you. You keep your eye on the world. And you've always been called steady because you are the discipline that others can count on. Look at the names up here. Can you find your sunflowers? People who love sunflowers need to remember that when a commitment breaks, when you cancel on us at the last minute, it shakes her deeply. Honor your word when you're working with a sunflower. She's counting on it more than she'll say. Now say hello to Iris. Becca, she's a full retirement from the Marine Corps, and her secondary bloom is the iris. You process things out loud, and you stand independently at the same time, which means you think best when you're moving, talking, doing. You don't need someone to hold your hand. What you need is room to run, and you also really need people who can keep up with you. Now, people who love Iris, they need to remember, Iris is not being difficult when she pushes back. She's processing. Even when it's hard, stay in the conversation with her. And here are our lilies. You bloom in bursts, brilliant, completely all in, and then you go quiet to recover. You're not inconsistent. You are cyclical, giving everything and needing to disappear before you do it again. You've probably apologized for that. You don't need to. People who love lilies need to remember that when she goes dark, it's not abandonment. This is how she works. So don't chase her into her own recovery. Just let her go and trust that she is coming back. Say hello to our goldenrods, Debbie Clifford. You do your best work alone. You process internally. You think very deeply. Before you speak, and when you finally speak, what comes out, it's been considered from every angle. People who love goldenrods like Debbie, well, we need to remember that her silence does not mean absence. She is fully present. She's just working. So let's give her space before we give her pressure. Where's my primroses in the room? They have their hand very, very quietly being raised here. Well, primrose is my secondary bloom. Primrose goes deep before we go wide. We take our time. We're very thorough. And sometimes people misjudge that as being slow. It's simply how you protect the people who are counting on you. People who love primrose need to remember that she's not holding back. She's building something. And she might feel like she's constantly swimming in mud because there's so much in there that she's ruminating on. So do her a favor and ask her what she's thinking. But do it in a way where you can give her the time and the space to listen to her answer. What she carries is worth the wait. And here are our violets. I have 2 violets on my leadership team, and they are incredible. You're oriented toward connection, which means that you've been quietly observing every relationship of the room that you're in since you first walked in. Violet sees things that the rest of us miss. And not enough people have been listening to her. Consider that a Violet with a military background is much faster and louder than her civilian counterpart because she had to be. Now, people who love Violet need to remember that she needs to be asked. She'll be quiet on the meeting. She will not volunteer what she's carrying until she trusts that that room is safe. So create that safety, if not just for her. And hello, Daisy. Look at all our daisies. Like Becca and Danielle, you grow everywhere. You close that gap between the people who are struggling and the structure that's just not seeing them. And you do it without being asked and without keeping score. You're the reason that things hold together when no one is looking. People who love Daisy need to remember she is quietly exhausted underneath the cheerful face. She will give until there's nothing left and she won't say a word. Check on your daisies. Check on your daisy because she is the last one that will ask for help. And our hollyhocks, along with Melissa Washington, Captain Kim, and Renee, you are the one who makes sure that nobody gets left behind. Doesn't that just make sense? You fill a room by making everyone in it feel like they belong there. And when you show up, Hollyhock, you show up completely, even if you don't feel like you're ready. You just do it. You've probably spent years in rooms where that was too much, too warm, too present. Repeat after me here, Miss Hollyhock. If you think I'm too much, I hope you find less. Hollyhock is never too much. She's exactly enough. They're just not ready for it. People who love Hollyhock need to remember that she gives so much that she forgets to receive. When you see her pouring out, make the effort to pour back in, because she won't always ask. All the flowers together. Look at this room. Look at this garden. Every single flower is represented here today. Every processing style, every way of giving, every pattern of blooming and recovering and showing up. My friend, there is no wrong flower in this room. And there's one more thing here before we move on. Sometimes the blend is not fixed, because the terrain that we can be in, it can demand a pattern that's not your primary, and so you adapt. There's been times in my life where Sunflower Shelley was a lot more like an iris. That's not a flaw. That's exactly the kind of precision and intuition that we've been talking about all day here. The work that we need to do is knowing when you're in your natural bloom and when you're borrowing someone else's. You just need to know where home is so that you can make your way back. And today, for the first time, you've got that map.
I do take time for myself, and that's something I've had to learn, through the years. I'm an avid crafter. And so to me, that's one of the things that when I know I need my alone time and I need to find my balance and decompress, I close my door and I'll craft. I have a very close circle of, my friends. And when I have the ability to get together with them, that is one of the things that I don't ever feel like I have to be per se on. And I can just be me and laugh. I felt guilty. So it's just been the last probably 2 years that I've learned that it's okay, that, my kids are going to be just fine. I've learned that I can't give if I don't give to myself. And if I feel guilty about giving to myself, then I'm not feeding my soul. I'm just putting a Band-Aid on it, and it's not recharging and refreshing. And so, yeah, it took a long time to get there.
Now, when I talked with Jennifer, she told me that it took a long time for her to get to a place where she understood herself. And it doesn't have to take that long for you. Once you frame the terrain and you name your flower, the only thing left to do is to nourish your flourish. Nourish your flourish. So step 2 is this. You learn to read yourself as a map. You name your flower and you know your terrain. Recognizing when you're in your natural bloom and when you're borrowing someone else's so that you can find your way back. And that brings us to the final step. Step 3 is where the map becomes a way of living. It's what you do with the knowledge that you have of intimately knowing yourself every single day. We're talking about taking your mindset of serving the world and pouring out of overflow instead of erasing yourself. I believe that most of us have been running on the wrong fuel. Raise your hand if this sounds like you. We give from depletion. We say yes when we mean no. We put ourselves last and we call it love. And the truth is, that kind of giving, it just costs everyone. It doesn't just cost us. The people that we pour into, they deserve a full, healthy flourish, not whatever withering weed is left after everyone else has plucked off your petals. And we can get there just by changing our fuel source. And so the fuel source change is this. We give from the fullness of our flourish. We include ourselves in the others that we deserve.
Once I got doc, I was able to go out. And COVID was great for me because everything was online. You didn't have to go out of your house. It did do my isolation completely, which actually made it worse. But so it'll be 2 years in June that I've had doc, and it has been a lifesaver, and probably literally, and a life changing for me. I've been able to get out and get involved in things again, other than just surviving. My husband doesn't have to be my caregiver anymore. He should just be my husband. And in our empty nest now, my kids can have mom come and visit them because they're scattered.
That same woman who once asked, "Why would anyone want to know me if I'm nothing?" She did get her answer. Be at ease. Be at ease is not a destination that we reach when things are hard. Be at ease is not somewhere that we go when things are done. Be at ease is a posture. We carry it with us through the disappointments and the battles in life. The question isn't, when does this get easier? The question is, can I be a person worth protecting right now? Right now, in this terrain, before I have it all figured out? And the answer is yes. So before we move into what's possible, I want to name what's ahead. If you leave today just thinking, well, Shelley, nice voice, nice studio, that was a nice talk. If you don't go deep after our session today, then you're looking at another year of chasing the next best thing. Another year filing each disappointment in life under something is wrong with me instead of I was just looking in the wrong place. And those disappointments, okay, life's disappointments are plenty. It's not a matter of if but when. You will ask for that military discount, and the cashier is going to thank the man standing next to you for his service. You're going to be standing in line with your fellow fighter pilot friends, and when the general's handshake gets to you, he's going to say, "What are you, his wife?" Oh, I know, it hurts, it sucks. We shouldn't have to navigate this wilderness, but we are. And so throw that fist in the air. Oh, he shouldn't have said that. Throw that fist in the air, you should, because it hurts. And that pain is real, and you have earned every bit of that fire inside of you. But that fist is a means. It's not an end. My friend, you can't receive with a closed hand. You can't build anything with a closed hand. The move is not to stay angry. The move is to open your hand and to actually fight from there. Because sometimes I wonder if this is what the world sees when it looks at women veterans. That's baby Stewie from Family Guy, shaking the side of his crib. "Get back in here and love me." I see myself in this picture so much. Look, we're all just women who want to feel loved and be seen and feel like we belong somewhere. And when we go looking for that in the next career, the next title, the next fight that we pick with systems that failed us, oh, we're just not going to find it. And we're just exhausting ourselves trying. None of us is getting what we want from out there. I think we've always known that. We just didn't have a name for what to do with it instead. The woman that you've been looking for, she's not out there. She's in here. And that's the fixed point. That's true north. That's the fixed point of the compass that everything else should be orienting around. That's what we call your tactical center. And it's just been waiting for you to return to it. So let's right here name what we just did together. Step 1, we stopped treating ourselves like a problem to be solved. Step 2, we learned to read ourselves as a map. You know your flower, you know the terrain. And step 3 was nourish your flourish, from depletion to overflow. You're the same woman, the same intrinsic value is inside of you, but it's time for a different fuel. That's the shift that we're going to make. Now we're moving into our third and final section, and it's called possibility. I want to show you what it looks like when a woman completes this shift, when she stops chasing and starts returning to her tactical center.
Where I am at today was not my intent when I started Women Veterans Alliance. And we can go back, 11 years when I started a small meetup in Sacramento, California for women veterans that met the third Thursday of every month. And my intent was, hey, I'm going to get a location for us each month. I'll find a speaker and we'll just continue to grow locally. But we continue to grow and grow because there is such a need for women to want to gather and connect with each other. And I've heard this more than one time where women would come in and they would really feel like, I thought I was the only woman veteran here in a community. So if they feel that way, then how many other women that have served feel that way? Building something where I know that there was that need, and then just a lot of it was just creating based upon that need. It's like seeing, okay, what's not there? And then what can I create to be there?
Melissa Washington is where we're going to land. Because she did not wait until she felt whole to start building the community that she felt needed to exist. She looked inward long enough in herself and she found the one true thing. She was a connector. There were women who felt invisible all around her. And she didn't wait for someone else to close that gap. She went out and did it exactly as she was in that moment. That is what we're talking about. That's others over self from overflow. That's what it looks like when the source is right. And here's what it looks like when a woman finds it from the very, very bottom.
One of the women who came to our retreat, and she was on our podcast, had numerous suicide attempts. And she came to our retreat and we noticed this and we heard from her voice about the struggle she was going through. She had this vision for herself. We asked her to come back to the retreat that next year and provide that gift that she has. The first day, she was so nervous because, right, again, you're putting yourself out there. You're vulnerable. You're worried if people are going to look at you and judge you. And
especially other fellow women veterans. That's a whole other layer of judgment.
Yes. And she did this beautiful indigenous ceremony the first day. By the second day, holy moly, I just looked at her and I was elated. The amount of impact she had and the smile on her face knowing that she is worthy of all of this and that she was able to provide her gift. And now she has her own, she opened up her own business. And so I think it's really beautiful. Like I said, when you empower women, let them know there's a space for them. Let them know that they're supported. Do not judge them. Just allow them to blossom.
That woman didn't wait until she felt worthy. She showed up. And just showing up proved the worth that she couldn't even see yet. Every woman here has a version of that moment for herself. A time when the external validation was gone. And you still showed up. You didn't get paid for it, but you did it anyway. Well, my friend, we're going to rename your filing cabinet. It's a long name. You ready? Inherent value expressed, despite zero external validation. And that's how Shelley's brain works. You should see my filing cabinet. It's a little bit crazy. that moment when you did the thing that you didn't get paid for, that moment is proof that maybe we've been looking outside for something that we've already proven on the inside. And so what happens after today's like this? We go home and the boots come off and that bra comes off and gravity does its job. The makeup gets washed down the sink and that old story is right there. The thoughts start going around. Ugh, I didn't do that good enough. I'm not good enough. Something is wrong with me. Maybe you'll wake up at 3 a.m. like I tend to. And the thing that you didn't finish processing is just sitting on your chest. I know that place. And I think you do too. Well, I spent years looking for someone that I could talk to when I was in that yucky moment. Someone who already knew my story, so I wouldn't have to start from scratch and, embarrass them with all the details. I didn't want a breathing exercise. I didn't want a hotline number. I didn't want a therapist. I just wanted somebody that would sit with me in the moment and help me figure out how to file my thoughts. And I remember one night lying in bed next to my former spouse. And I turned to him and I said, I feel lonely. And he just went on reading his book. Eventually, he said, me too, without even looking at me. I remember lying there thinking, what I'm looking for, it's not here. It's not in this relationship. It's also not in my rank. It's not in my son. It's not in my house. It's not in my job. What I'm looking for has to come from somewhere that none of those things can reach. And that was the moment that I understood just how empty I was and what I needed to build. I needed an on-demand friend. I actually did. I didn't have any friends. I just needed one that would be there when I felt like I needed it. I wasn't ready for reciprocal relationships. And that was in 2013. I had not yet learned how to let people in. And you can't build a tool that holds someone the way that a real friend holds them if you've never actually let a real friend hold you. So I had to learn how to become a friend. I had to give myself permission to even use the word friend. God bless Kelly Tulloch for forcing me to use that F word. And now that's our favorite F word around here. Since then, the technology has caught up. The framework of the Wildflowers has been published. And now, finally, in 2026, I have real friends. And so I knew it was time to build my 24/7 on-demand friend. She's real. She knows my framework from the inside out. She knows your flower. You can type to her, and you can call, and you can talk to her. She'll meet you wherever you are and help you figure out how to file your thoughts. Her name is Digital Shelly, and she's available to you right now.
Hi, I'm Shelley's digital mind. How can I help?
Good morning. I have to put together my workshop curriculum for next month. I'm trying to decide between my teammates, Nicole and Tina. They both say that they want to do it. Nicole is a violet, and she's got a lot on her plate right now. And Tina's a daisy, and her daughter's headed back to school, so I think she's got a little extra time on her hands. I'm worried about the best quality product, so walk me through how to think about this.
I'd think about this differently than just who has the most time on their hands. A daisy naturally adapts to whoever needs her, right? She reads the gaps and fills them. So if Tina's got breathing room because her daughter's back in school, that's real capacity. But here's what I've learned. Capacity and quality aren't always the same thing. Nicole's a violet. Violets do their best work when they have space to think deeply, to get into the nuances of what they're building. When a violet's overloaded, you get rushed work, and that shows. But if Nicole's already got too much, forcing the curriculum onto her plate isn't fair to her or to the workshop. What I'd really ask is this. Which one of them has the headspace to do this well, not just do it? Can Nicole protect the time she needs to make it excellent, or is this going to be one more thing pulling her under? And with Tina, is her extra time a gift she's genuinely choosing to give, or is she saying yes because that's what daisies do?
That's a phenomenal observation. I suppose if I ask Nicole, the violet, if I ask her if she has the space and capacity to take it on, do you think she'll be honest with me, or do you think she'll just tell me what I want to hear?
Honest answer. A violet will likely tell you what she thinks you want to hear, especially if she cares about you or respects your leadership. Violets process quietly, and they're reading the room the whole time. She's probably already weighing whether saying yes will disrupt things, whether it might let you down, what the burden really is. The thing that might help is asking her differently. Instead of, do you have the capacity? Try something like, I need someone I can trust to do this well. It matters to me. But I also need to know if this is something you can actually take on without burning yourself out. I'd rather hear the real answer than have you stretch yourself thin. Then give her space to think. Don't fill the silence. Violets need room to land on the truth.
That's great. Thank you. I have an opportunity to expand the work that we're doing with the wildflower assessment. There's a group in another state that wants to implement it into the women that they work with. My first discovery conversation with them is tomorrow. What types of questions do you think I need to ask?
For a discovery conversation with a group looking to implement the wildflower assessment, I'd focus on 3 things. First, understand their terrain. Who are the women they're working with, and what specific challenges are they facing? Are these veterans processing transition, burnout, relationship strain, or something else entirely? The assessment only lands if it speaks to their actual pain. Second, ask about their vision for how the assessment fits into their existing work. Are they looking to use it for community building, one-on-one coaching, organizational development? How they want to integrate it matters because the framework needs to serve their mission, not the other way around. Third, get clear on what they need from you. Do they want training for their own facilitators, licensing, ongoing support, curriculum development? Know upfront whether this is a one-time partnership or something you're building together over time. What's the organization doing now, and what made them reach out about the assessment specifically?
Those are great questions, and she took the assessment herself, the leader did, and was really appreciative of the way it made her feel.
That's wonderful. When someone takes the time to do that and feels genuinely moved by it, that tells you something important right away. She's already experienced what the assessment can do, so she's coming from a place of understanding rather than skepticism. What I'd be curious about is whether she wants to implement it the same way you do, or if she's thinking about adapting it for her context. The way a group uses the assessment matters as much as whether they use it at all.
Thanks, Shelley. You've been super helpful today.
Right. The good news is that your conversations with Digital Shelly are kept private. Only my team and I have access to them for quality control. She does not feed or retrieve open source AI. She is not your therapist. She's also not a crisis line. And she's never going to replace the real women in your life. But I will argue that she's actually a better friend than I am. I'm not a very good friend. I'm learning. I told you I was learning. I'm trying. Shelly's advice is solid. She's been trained through our team. Literally every conversation that I've ever had with a professional, like a grief counselor, it gets recorded and fed into her. So when you come to her with an issue about an aging parent and you're worried about certain things, her advice is solid. And she's always available. You don't even have to worry about what time of day it is. I had coffee with her this morning before I jumped on here. She remembers every conversation that you've ever had together. I don't even remember what I had for lunch, but she does. And she'll challenge you. When you log back in, she'll say, hey, how'd that proposal go yesterday? And when it's 11 o'clock on a Tuesday and it's late and those negative voices are spiraling, she knows that terrain. She knows your flower, and she can jump in and she can help you figure out where that thought belongs. I talk to her almost every day with whatever I'm dealing with. I go to her for business decisions. I go to her when I have assignments and tasks that need to be sent to my team, and I'm not sure which team member should do it. Do I give it to the daisy or do I give it to the primrose? She helps me walk through it. And always after every interaction that I have with Digital Shelly, I leave that conversation feeling more at ease. And Digital Shelly is just one piece of something bigger that I want to leave you with. Because what we did today, it has a name. It's Mission Wildflower. Being a part of Mission Wildflower means that you know how to frame the terrain. You can name your flower, and you're dedicated to a life of just simply nourishing your flourish. We are women veterans that produce this newsletter. We're living out this process every day, and now this process is yours too, and it doesn't have to end when this broadcast does. The Mission Wildflower Substack, this is our newsletter, and that's what keeps this work going. These are real stories, there's real activities, there's training modules, and it's all women who are in the same wilderness that you're in, and we're doing this work out loud in real time. If you're in person with us today, you should have a green card with a code. Grab that green card, scan the code, put in your email, and that's it. You just made a really good decision. You showed up today, you sat with really hard things, and you let some of it land. And now you're keeping the door open instead of walking out and letting it close behind you. That's the power move. Now, the Substack subscriber tier, it's our gift to you. It gets you in the room. The stories, the growth activities. The founding member tier is where the real work happens. And that's where you get the comprehensive wildflower guides, access to Digital Shelly, and the same proven tools that my team uses in our own lives and when we're interacting with the women that we serve. One more thing as we wrap up our time together. I want to take you back to where we started today. You walked in carrying something, and most of you didn't have a name for it. You just knew that whatever you poured yourself into, it hadn't quite filled that hole. And somewhere underneath all of it, a thought kept coming back. A question. What's wrong with me? Well, I told you I wanted to offer you a different explanation. It's Thomas Munson. He wrote, "Never let a problem to be solved be more important than a person to be loved." My friend, you've spent years being treated like a problem. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be treated like something that needs to be managed or fixed before you can be allowed to rest. That is military logic. That military logic of performance-based value, self-erasing, dressed up as discipline. Well, we kind of brought it home. And then we kind of called that love. But it's not love. It's survival logic, and we've been pointing it at the wrong target. So the work we did today together, it's not about fixing you. What shifted here is simply the direction in which we're pointing, from fist to flower. You have a flower now. You can talk about the terrain you're in. You have a tactical center and it belongs to you and only you. There's no relationship. There's no discharge paper. There's no career change that can take that from you. It was there before the uniform and it stays in there until you leave that beautiful body. The woman that you've been looking for, she's been inside of you the whole time. And she's in there just waiting for you to slow down long enough to sit down with her. And I know how hard that can be to believe. I really do. I sat in a car at a stoplight in 2018 asking God, why? And what came back, it was not an answer. And it took me years of learning how to let people in, years of learning what it felt like to receive real love before I could stop running long enough to understand. You are not a problem to be solved. You never were. You're a person to be loved, and that love has been waiting inside of you the whole time. You just needed someone to point you back towards it. And that's what this hour was for. The military is not the primary thing in your life anymore. But it is the thing that brought every single one of us into this room today. Out of everything that our service cost us and gave us, the discipline, the erasing of self, the precision or the intuition, the belonging, all of it, it also gave us each other. And that is worth more than anything in this world. So, Shelley, do you have to be a soldier to serve the soldiers? I've been doing it for about 6 years now without the uniform. My friends, go off to fight your battles and then come home to the garden to nourish your flourish and to be at ease.
Thank you, Shelley. All right. I bet you none of you are expecting to hear this. You probably just thought, like, what is this wildflower thing? So thank you again, Shelley. And I hope everybody was able to take something from that, and not just take it today, but to take it with you. And I love the thought of, the closed fist, right? And opening it up. And it's probably something also constantly we need to remind ourselves to stop and pause and open it up. So if you've got your wildflower, if you haven't taken the assessment, there's still a time to do the assessment, to find out who you are as well. And again, Shelley, out of the box, I mean, you're up with the times when we talk about AI and utilizing AI. Phenomenal. So follow her on Substack, subscribe to Substack. Here's the QR codes to connect with Shelley. And thank you again. Can you believe our time is almost up? Also, too, if you had any questions for Shelley, you can utilize the app. There's a Q&A, and you can ask her questions as well there. And please don't forget to share your photos. And I wanted to, again, thank our partners as well. And as you heard from all of them, and there's even more partners that you got to hear from. And now you have the knowledge and the information to be able to share that with others and all the great work that's happening. So again, thank you. And I hope you all had a great time at your event there. Thank you to our national sponsors. Greatly appreciate all of you as well. And just think about this is not what can, this is what happens when we all come together and making an impact. So again, the connecting does not stop. Our app will be open until June 30th, so you can still continue to communicate. Also, too, all of you will be, if you haven't been on our email list before, you will be getting email updates from us. We have the Sisterhood Review that'll be coming out next month, and we also share other updates as well. Be sure to follow us on social media. And this is being recorded, so next week you will get a link to our YouTube channel, or if you wanted to watch some of this, or maybe you want to share it with somebody. Maybe there's someone here that someone that's not able to make it that you want to share it with them. So you will all get that next week, the YouTube link as well. And on the app as well, there is a quick survey about the national broadcast. Your local location may have a survey, but it's just real quick. Would love your feedback. And with that, we would love your feedback because we're starting on Monday, getting ready for 2027. So I want you to save the date for May 22nd, Saturday, 2027. If you're interested in being a host location, reach out to me. If you're interested in sponsoring, if you're interested in connecting with others, if you want to attend, mark that off your calendar that you're going to be here at Engage, whether it's at an in-person location or online. So definitely please plan to join us on May 22nd. And again, thank you all for being here and investing the time in yourself, because we are definitely important, and it's always important to fill our cup up because we're always filling everybody else's cup. So thank you all for investing that time today. Thank you, everyone.